Tracy's asked me today to come talk to you about apprenticeships. Optimum time at the moment, as we know, schools are breaking up, and we're going to have a lot of school leavers soon. So optimum time to recruit an apprentice in your business. So that's what we're going to talk about in terms of how can you, where we advertise, what our costs are involved, what the programme looks like. And then we're also going to touch on apprenticeships for your existing team members as well. So Remit Training, you may have worked with us before, or you may have actually never heard about us before. So we're actually a national training provider, and we work across a variety of sectors, with hospitality being one of our largest sectors that we work in. Obviously work with yourselves and a lot of other organisations very similar. So we're very used to working within a sector. All of our coaches or trainers come from sector as well, so not from a college. They all come from working in venues like yourselves. So our coach trainers are called development coaches, and there will be the individuals that would come out to your businesses or organise team Zoom calls to take your learners through the training. The training is delivered to suit the needs of every apprentice and every employer, and we're going to look at some of those delivery methods a little bit later. So in terms of the process for recruiting an apprentice, so it's very, very simple really. We send you what we call a vacancy referral form, which capture the basic details on the vacancy in terms of hours, what you would want the young person to be doing, salary. We would then advertise that on all of our job boards, including the National Apprenticeship Service, Indeed, Total Jobs, our websites. We also use social media a lot as well to advertise our vacancies. So we use Instagram and Facebook, and also now sort of TikTok as well. And then you can also advertise that vacancy locally as well. So you can capture people from your local area. So we would advertise it. We would then send individuals over you to be interviewed, and then you would follow your normal recruitment process. So in terms of any costs, so in terms of funding it, if the apprentice is 16 to 18, the government funds 100% of the apprenticeship. If the individual is over the age of 18, then the government funds 95% of the apprenticeship, which are with a lot of the level 2 apprenticeships, which a lot of individuals when first joining your organisation would start on. You're looking, just to give you an idea, of around sort of £200 over a 12-month programme. The 5% would be, and that obviously that varies depending on the level of qualification that you're putting the individual onto. A lot of companies that we work with, we work with a lot of companies like yourselves to recruit apprentices in the business, and they really use this to advertise it as a real career path within the organisation, which really helps sell it into sort of family as well as the individuals. So really showing it how they can go from a level 2 to a level 5, which we deliver qualifications right up to a level 5, which is a foundation degree. And that really does help draw in individuals when you can really show there's a true career path when joining your organisation. In terms of optimum times to recruit, well, now is definitely one. School leavers, we can enrol them onto an apprenticeship the last week in June. That's when we can officially enroll school leavers, but it's definitely an optimum time now. So if you're thinking you've got a vacancy, get it live now, because this is when you're going to get the most candidates applied to those vacancies. If now's not quite the right time, we can advertise for you all year round. It's not like a college, so we can advertise all year round, but those optimum times are really now, and then I would say sort of September and January, sort of 3 sort of optimum times within the year. Now, in terms of pay, and in terms of paying an apprentice, if they're 16 to 18, and in the first year, the minimum wage that you can pay an apprentice is £4.81 an hour. Now, a lot of businesses do pay a lot more than that. They do pay up to £10 to attract candidates to that role. So obviously, if you can pay more than that, you will draw in more candidates to your positions. If somebody is over 19 or over, you pay the apprenticeship wage in the first year, and then in the second year, it would be minimum wage or living wage, whatever you decide to pay. But I would definitely recommend to pay more than that to draw candidates to your vacancies. We do have a lot of clients at the moment that are advertising vacancies around that sort of £9 an hour for an apprentice. Then in terms of incentives, we still do have some incentives for you. So the government have still got the £1,000 incentive. So that's if you're recruiting somebody into your business that is between the ages of 16 to 18, or 19 to 24 if they've got an education, health and care plan, or has been into the care of their local authority. And then that payment of £1,000 is paid within two parts. So the first part is paid after 90 days, £500. And then the final part of the £500 is paid at the end, sort of 365 days after the apprentice starts the training. So we have got some top tips for you when recruiting an apprentice. And I mean, I'd definitely say, definitely open-minded is one of them. Look to recruit outside of the hospitality pool. Consider recruits with maybe retail experience, customer service experience. If you're looking at somebody that's leaving school, they're not going to be particularly have any, experience. Maybe they've done some part-time weekend work, but the majority of them won't have any experience if you're looking at a school leaver. So this is when you're into, you want to be looking at sort of personality and attributes that they could bring to the role. And to attract these young people, really think about how you're writing the job description. So when you're sending the vacancy details over to us, really think about sort of the language that you're using there that appeals to a young audience. So we obviously will be recruiting for you. Ask your team as well. They may know somebody, family, friends within the local area. Then if you do find somebody, let us know and we can enrol them onto the apprenticeship. Use your own social media as well as us to promote as well. We can give you the link to the vacancy on the National Apprenticeship Service, so you can use that link when you're advertising locally or in social media, and the applicants will still come to us to screen and then send over to yourselves. And also for your team members within your venues, speak to people that come in, parents, guardians, about the opportunities. You can put something up in your venue as well. And then also consider any past candidates that may have applied for roles into your business. And then when you get them over to you for interview, these are just some ideas which you can see on the screen. I'm not going to obviously read through all of these, but just some ideas. These slides will be shared with you. Tracy will share these and the recording will be available for you. But there's just some ideas here of some questions to ask candidates, particularly when they've not got any experience within hospitality. There's just a few questions there, few tips there to draw out information from them, just to see if you think they would be a perfect candidate for your business. As I said previously, personality is so important, and these are the skills that I'm sure you'd be wanting to look for when recruiting into your business. So once you've found the ideal candidate, obviously they're going to be enrolled onto an apprenticeship. So what is an apprenticeship? So apprenticeships changed in 2017. There used to be sort of NVQs, frameworks, and now they're called apprenticeship standards. That's been designed by employers like yourselves. So it is a formal education programme combining training and development, and they start from sort of 12 months that we do up to 2 years with the level 5s. Within the apprenticeship, they also need to do functional skills, maths and English, and that's if they've not already achieved maths and English at a grade C or equivalent at school or college, or key skills or functional skills in a college environment. They would be exempt. If they haven't achieved those grades, this is a fantastic opportunity really for them to get up to that level, and we will take them through their functional skills, so they'll get a certificate for that as well. 20% of the job learning is also a government requirement when doing an apprenticeship. So 20% of the job training, this certainly doesn't mean that you need to give them 1 day a week to dedicate to 20% of the job. This basically means that they need to be acquiring new skills. It could be the 20%, it could be they're attending one of the visits with their development coach. They could be attending a workshop, webinar online with a development coach. They could be learning a new skill within your venue. They could be doing some shadowing. They could be doing some e-learning when they first start. That classes 20% of the job training. They could be doing any research for the apprenticeship as well. So there's lots of different activities that make up that 20% of the job training. And we build that into all of our learner journeys. So as long as they're following the learner journey that we give them and doing the self-study that we ask them to do, then they would acquire that 20% of the job training. The final part of the programme is called endpoint assessment. So we coach and mentor them through the journey, and just towards the end we will sit down with yourselves as managers, the apprentice and our development coach, and we will decide whether we think they are ready to go through and do assessments. And that is done by another company through an external assessor, really, an endpoint assessor. So it wouldn't be the development coach that will have to do their journey, it's an external endpoint assessor. And typical assessments could be an observation. They might be asked to do a multiple choice questions on a laptop. They could be asked to do a project, do a professional discussion with their assessor. So dependent on the apprenticeship, just depends on the assessments they tend to do. And there's usually around 3 of those assessments at the end. And dependent on the apprenticeship, they'd be graded pass, merit or distinction. So that's changed over the last few years. So you've got the apprenticeship itself, the chosen one they decide to do, whether it be sort of front of house, back of house, management, functional skills, 20% of the job training, and then the endpoint assessment, which makes up the apprenticeship. And we do ask as well, whilst they're in training, that you allocate them a mentor to support them throughout the programme. It might be yourself, it might not be, it might be somebody within your business that's already gone through an apprenticeship, or somebody that's wanting to get into sort of mentoring or supervisory down the line. So we really ask that you do allocate that person to support and mentor them throughout the programme. So these are the different types of apprenticeships. So if you're recruiting somebody in with no experience really, you'd be looking at starting them off on a level 2 apprenticeship, whether that be a front of house or a back of house hospitality team member. You may recruit somebody in that's already got experience, may have been in a supervisory role, and you could put them onto a hospitality supervisor. Or you may have got employees already employed with you that you want to put on any of these apprenticeships as well. Hospitality manager level 4 would need to be somebody that is managing a venue or sort of an assistant manager, duty manager. And then senior production chef or back of house. It's quite heavily sort of leadership and management within this particular programme. And then operation departmental manager level 5 is equivalent to a foundation degree, which would take around sort of 18 months to 2 years to complete. The level 4 is equivalent to sort of higher education certificates. Level 3 is equivalent to A levels, and the level 2 is equivalent to GCSEs, just to give you an idea of what the equivalent sort of grades are in those. So roles and responsibilities. So obviously we've got the learner who would need to commit to complete the apprenticeship. We asked that they would attend all of their learning sessions. So learning sessions tend to be about every 4 weeks throughout the programme, and that could be a group session with other apprentices doing the same apprenticeship. It could be a one-on-one session with the development coach on Teams, Zoom, or they could be coming out to your venue to observe the apprentice. So we do ask that they attend all of those sessions and complete all of the learning activities, and the development coach will set them objectives and actions on each visit they meet them. Identify any additional tasks that they may need to take up to be able to complete the apprenticeship. It's important that they inform the development coach if they can't attend. It does happen sometimes, holidays, etc., but they must keep their coach informed so they can keep them on track. And then also they've got a commitment and a responsibility to prepare for that endpoint assessment. Then in terms of a line manager and what your responsibilities would be in terms of supporting them through an apprenticeship, is to sort of take an interest in supporting them into their day-to-day targets. You would be required as a minimum to attend a 12-week progress review with the development coach and your apprentice, and then you give your feedback, and usually they take around an hour, and they can be remote or face-to-face. As a minimum, obviously we'd like you to obviously take an interest throughout the programme, you know, question them on the visits they've attended, do they need any support, but the minimum we would need you every 12 weeks at those progress review visits. Support them into attending all their learning sessions. The invites to the learning sessions are always sent out to the apprentice and also to the line manager as well, so you're aware and can plan those in to your diaries. Support them to complete the learning activities and support them time to study in work as well. And then looking at really how they're reviewing the training they've had and how it's impacted within the business and in their role. And then preparing them right at the end for that gateway and that endpoint assessment. Right, we'll see if this plays.
Did you share your sound, Sarah?
Sorry, trying to say.
When you shared your
Did it not?
screen, did you share your sound? You have to click on share your sound.
Yeah, try it now.
Because it's in such a lovely location. It's in
That's playing just right now.
Yeah.
a beautiful village. We get a lot of visitors here from all over the world. Jess was already working for us. We instantly could recognise the excellent work ethic that she had, and when she told us that she was looking for an apprenticeship, we offered her one immediately, and we thought it would be great to have another really good member of staff working front of house for us.
Within Star Pubs and Bars, we're giving the operators an opportunity to build their talent and keep hold of staff, because it's such a difficult marketplace to be in, and it's getting the right people that stay, the future operators.
I think there's a lot to be gained from having an apprentice. As we all know in this industry, it is quite difficult to attract and retain staff, and I think providing the opportunity to develop their skills and take on an apprenticeship and leave with a qualification is a good thing. It benefits not only the apprentice, but it also benefits you as a business as well, because they are committed to you and they are working very, very hard and bringing lots of new knowledge and skills to you as well.
I think some of the main things I've learned is customers and really knowing your business well. So I got to learn a lot about the business, stuff that I wouldn't have normally got to know without this apprenticeship, and that's also helped with my confidence a lot. And then also I've been able to train up skills I already knew to a lot higher level.
having seen the benefit of having an apprentice work in front of house, we've actually just taken on another apprentice, this time in the kitchen. You know, it's quite difficult to attract chefs into this industry. We were looking for extra staff and we thought, yeah, let's have another apprentice. We just want to grow and grow and grow like we have been.
It's given me a lot of skills that I can use for many different jobs if I wanted to change career. It's opened a lot of doors for me, I think.
Within Star Pubs and Bars, it's really about creating the hospitality managers of the future, really investing in their time and growing the business together.
So I hope you like that. It really brings it to life, doesn't it, to hear from operators and learners as well in terms of the experience and how it's benefited them as well. So in terms of the delivery methods, I mentioned briefly, there's various ways that we sort of coach and develop the apprentices through the journey, whether it be masterclasses, webinars, online learning. So we have a Fuse platform, which is really like an online library, where they get access to, so they can go and research. And there's various activities, online activities in there. They can also communicate with other people that are doing the same qualifications as well. And that can be accessed on phone, tablet or laptop. They get two systems. They get the Fuse system, and then they also get access to their online e-portfolio system, which is where they upload all of their evidence in and track progression. And that's also something as operators managers you would also get access to as well. So then you can see exactly how they're progressing every minute through that particular qualification. And workshops and videos which we play via the online learning, the one-to-one visits, and some of the apprenticeships involve assignments as well, but that's generally at your higher level apprenticeships, and sort of like your level 4 and your level 5. So we've talked through recruiting a new apprentice and how you do that, and how you take advantage of the incentives on offer as well, and the optimum times to recruit. But of course you've got your existing team members. It's a great way to motivate and retain team members as well, by giving them the opportunity to progress their career with one of the apprenticeships that I mentioned earlier. So to be eligible for one of your existing team members to do an apprenticeship, they must work a minimum of 16 hours per week, and either in a new job role or an existing job role where the individual needs significant new knowledge and skills to be occupationally competent. So you couldn't really draw down funding if somebody in your role for 12 years, they've been doing the role, they know it all, and they want to do a team leader, but they've been doing the job. We wouldn't be able to put them through because the government would say they've already achieved that level of competency. But you may have somebody that's been there for 10 years wanting to move into a supervisory role, and then they would be acquiring new skills to be able to do that. Again, you need to allow the apprentice, the same as somebody recruiting somebody, to do the 20% off the job as well. And then importantly, they can't already be doing another fully government funded apprenticeship or in education, part-time education at the same time. And then finally, they can't have completed the same or a similar qualification. And all we would ask, if you were unsure, is if you ask for the certificates, then we can double check to see if they'd be eligible. They also need to be a citizen of the EA as well to be eligible. Now, in terms of once they've decided what apprenticeship they want to do and you've recruited them into your business, we take them through onboarding. So the first thing that we would ask them to do is complete an online expression of interest, an application form, which we would send you the link for. And then they would be asked to do their initial assessments in maths and English. They do their initial assessments in maths and English, regardless of whether they're exempt from functional skills or they're going to be completing it, because this gives the development coach an idea of their skill level so they can support them correctly through the apprenticeship. So they would do their initial assessments, and then the manager and the apprentice or mentor would complete a skills review, just to check they've got the right level of skill, or they've not got too much skill for the qualification that they're applying for. And if we find they have got too much experience, then we would be suggesting the next level up. That's just to double check we're putting apprentices on the right level for them. They would then complete the full online application form and be then invited to an onboarding session along with yourselves, which is approximately like a 2-hour introduction in going into detail into the apprenticeship itself, and also completing government funded paperwork we need to complete. And then that's when the journey begins, and they would be allocated with a development coach who will take them then through the journey of the apprenticeship. So next steps after today, obviously you've got the information there. This will be shared with you. If you are interested at all in recruiting an apprentice, you'll have my email address and contact telephone number there. If you drop me an email, give me a call, I can get the vacancy form over to you to start that process. And you would be allocated a dedicated recruiter who will then keep you communicated right through that process and support you through that process. If you've got an existing team member that you wanting to put them onto an apprenticeship, again, drop me an email or give me a call and I'll send you the link to the expression of interest form that will start that process off, and then they would do their initial assessments, etc. So either or if you just require any further information, please let me know. So